Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in front of us today we do have the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and the Google Pixel 8 Pro. We're going to go ahead and do a nice little speed test on this. If you haven't seen my speed test videos before, I made a couple of these before. I haven't made one in a while, so I do want to test these phones out. So starting off the specs, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra does come with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, so it is a little more upgraded. And then the Pixel 8 Pro does have the Google Tensor G3 chipset, and they do both have 12 gigabytes of RAM. So for the RAM management test, I wonder which one's going to prevail, as they do both have the same amount of RAM. So depending on the optimization, one should have the hand over the other. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. I do want to start off with a boot up test, and then we'll do a nice little fingerprint test, and then after that, we'll go ahead and run through our apps and see how well these two perform. Again, the boot up test doesn't really prove much about these phones, but I still do like to include it. So starting off with the boot up test in 3, 2, 1. Alright, the Google logo did appear first. Samsung Galaxy secured by Knox. So let's go ahead and wait up on these and see which one actually opens up first. Does seem like the Pixel 8 Pro is doing something. The S24 Ultra is getting there. And we're almost there. The S24 Ultra did boot up first. And now the Pixel 8 Pro should not be too far behind. It's getting there. It's taking a little while this time, but usually it doesn't take too long. And as I said, this really doesn't prove much about these devices. And voila. So the Pixel 8 Pro has now opened up. Alright, let me go ahead and open these up real quick and actually go through the fingerprint test. Alright, so beginning with the fingerprint test, I did register my finger once again for both these devices. So in 3, 2, 1. Alright, it seems like the Pixel 8 Pro was a tad bit faster in 3, 2, 1. Very similar results. I do want to say that the one on the S24 Ultra is a little more secure compared to the one on the Pixel 8 Pro, but they both do a great job at this. So once again, and voila. So fingerprints both registered perfectly, and they do both function really well and fast. So once again, you're not going to have any issues with that, which is super nice to know. Alright, so these are the set of the apps that I have right here. I have some stock apps, some social media apps, some shopping apps, and then some games. And then I do have 2 benchmarks. So I do have Geekbench 6, and I also do have 3D Mark this time. That is something I did recently. Before I didn't have 3D Mark, but now we do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. I do want to start off with calculator in 3, 2, 1. Seems like the S24 Ultra. Moving on to clock in 3, 2, 1. Once again, seems like the S24 Ultra. Both animations are very smooth. So camera does seem like the S24 Ultra, and if we do flip it around, that is very close. It did feel like the S24 Ultra on the first one, but then the Pixel 8 Pro did a good job on the second one. So Instagram in 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's go ahead and reload that. And boom. So very similar for both these devices. So X in 3, 2, 1. Alright, the S24 Ultra did seem to load it up faster. Groupon in 3, 2, 1. Seems like the S24 Ultra, but we do have to wait for this, and they are both connected to the same Wi-Fi, and I did turn off their LTE for both. So both of them are loading up right now. It's taking a little while. The S24 Ultra was a tad bit faster. Alright, moving on to ESPN. Seems like the S24 Ultra, and yes, the S24 Ultra did load up the video faster as well. Amazon Shopping. Once again, seems like the S24 Ultra was just a tad bit faster. eBay. Again, the S24 Ultra. YouTube. Does seem like, let's go and see, the S24 Ultra was just a tad bit faster. Moving on to Chipotle. That is going to be the S24 Ultra as well. And now we are moving on to our games. So starting off with some easy games, Smash Your Road 1 to 2. Let's go ahead and see which one loads up first. That is going to be the S24 Ultra. Let's go ahead and turn the volume down, and we can go ahead and exit out. Temple Run 2. Let's see which one loads up first. And that does seem like the S24 Ultra. So the S24 Ultra just a tad bit faster on most of the apps for now. Go ahead and click play on both these. No thanks. Go ahead and click play. Alright, let's go ahead and exit out now. And now Asphalt 9. This might take a tad bit longer from both of them. S24 Ultra did go into the loading screen first, and the S24 Ultra does load up the game first as well. Pixel 8 Pro just a tad bit behind, but not by too much. Dead Trigger 2 in 3, 2, 1. Again, see which one loads up first. The S24 Ultra did load the loading screen, and if we do click play in 3, 2, 1. And again, if I do misclick any of these, just go and correct me on that. I am not going to be perfect at this, but I do try my best. Let's see which one loads up first. Very similar results on both these devices. S24 Ultra just seems a tad bit faster compared to the Pixel 8 Pro. And again, very similar for both. Alright, now let's go ahead and actually go through our apps just to see how well the RAM management on these devices are. So calculator, we really shouldn't have any issues with this. These should already be open. But again, just go ahead and open it for one more time. Instagram, does seem like they have kept it open so far. Groupon, alright, still open. ESPN, Amazon, so far no reloads, everything seems great. YouTube did reload on the S24 Ultra. Alright, so the Pixel 8 Pro is up by 1. Smash Road 1 to 2. Alright, they're both still in the game. Temple Run 2 did go ahead and reload on the S24 Ultra. So that's the second app that the S24 Ultra had to reload, which is very unfortunate. Asphalt 9, still open on both devices. And Dead Trigger 2, both still open. So the Pixel 8 Pro does take this by 2 apps. The S24 Ultra did fail to keep YouTube and Asphalt 9 open, Temple Run 2 open, and so the S24 Ultra does lose to the Pixel 8 Pro in the RAM management test. Again, I did say they both have 12 gigabytes of RAM, so this all comes down to optimization, and I guess the Pixel has done a better job at that. Alright, so now let's go and close through all of our apps and actually hop into Geekbench 6. Alright, so we're now on Geekbench 6, and I do want to run a CPU benchmark. I do want to see how well the scores are on both these devices, and usually what I've noticed is that the S24 Ultra does get a higher score. I have done this test previously, and that is because the chipset is better on the S24 Ultra, but again, day-to-day usage, these scores really don't actually mean much. However, I still do go ahead and do this test. So let's go and wait for this test to be done, and once it's over, we're going to get back to y'all. Alright, both of the devices have finished up the test, and so now we can take a look at these scores. And as I said, the S24 Ultra is the better performing device. It does have the better chipset inside of it, and it is the more powerful device. However, once again, in day-to-day usage, after using both these devices for a couple of months, I have noticed that they both do perform really well. They can handle anything you throw at it, except that the Pixel 8 Pro every now and then does slow down a little bit, and it does heat up a little more than the S24 Ultra. But other than that, these scores don't really mean too much. So we do get a 1638 single core score on the Pixel 8 Pro and a 2187 on the single core for the S24 Ultra, 3939 on the multi-core Pixel 8 Pro, and 6899 on the S24 Ultra. So the S24 Ultra, just from these benchmark results, does outperform the Pixel 8 Pro by a lot. But once again, day-to-day usage, both devices are really great at using. So now we can go ahead and head out and actually head into 3D Mark to go out and do a wildlife stress test. I'm going to go ahead and start both these tests, and we'll go ahead and wait for these devices to finish up. Once they're done, I will go ahead and take a look at the scores of these two as well. Alright, both of the tests are finally done, and here we have these scores. So for the S24 Ultra, the best loop score was 14,000, and for the Pixel 8 Pro, it was 8,500. The lowest was 5,700 and 4,900. The Pixel 8 Pro was a little more stable compared to the S24 Ultra. As you can see here on the stress test where we can see the performance changes, the S24 Ultra did seem to dip down a lot faster, unlike the Pixel 8 Pro. However, in general, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra was faster than the Pixel 8 Pro. It did outperform the Pixel 8 Pro. If you do go ahead and check out the battery percentage, they did both lose 8%, 65 to 57, 55 to 47, and then for the temperature, the Pixel 8 Pro did get a tad bit warmer. However, it did start a little cooler. If we don't check that out, the S24 Ultra does have the better temperature management, unlike the Pixel 8 Pro. And then checking out the frame rate, you can see that it is 17 to 113 and 19 to 64. That is something that I did notice. I did watch these for a little while, and the S24 Ultra did have the higher frames and basically everything, unlike the Pixel 8 Pro. But overall, they did perform really well. However, this does show us that the S24 Ultra is faster than the Pixel 8 Pro. So overall, this was a great test. App opening wise, they did both do a really good job. The S24 Ultra was a tad bit faster on basically every app. However, for RAM management, the Pixel 8 Pro does take it. It did keep open every app, unlike the S24 Ultra, which failed to keep open 2 of the other apps. And on the benchmarks, the S24 Ultra did take both of them. So overall, that is going to be the speed test for both these devices. I hope you did enjoy this video. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.